Continuing with functioning of institutional structures, we see that functional analysis can be applied to different groups and organizations within society. Now, these groups and organizations seek to fulfill their own functional requirements. Groups have their own functions. Organization has its own functions. People come in to become or make an organization for the achievement of certain goals, and if it is let's say making an effort to achieve those goals, we might say that it is performing some functions. And we also see that sometimes these let's say groups and organizations compete with one another and with the overall society's functional requirements. And because of this, if there is no congruency between the goals of the groups and the goals of the society, or for that matter of the organization, then it can create some strain and some situation of conflict. So we can expect that kind of situation where the individual goals might conflict with the goals of the group or goals of the organization. Therefore, it requires some mechanism for overcoming such undesirable situations or overcoming the, let's say, conflicts or bringing the deviant behaviors back into the norms of the society. So we see that societies develop mechanism of social control for, let's say, the deviants to bring them in line, or those who are revolting against the system or the norms of the system to bring them back in line with the system, so that the system continues functioning. So we see that specific types of structures are found in some form in any society. Now these forms are there. We can have examples like kinship structures. So we see that kinship structure may be a family, or let's say extended family, and then other kins who are part of it. We see it is concerned with the regulation of sexual expression plus the care and training of the young. So when we talk about care and training of the young, this is more like the process of socialization. So within this process of socialization, the family members try to inculcate the norms of the society, and these also there are efforts to make these individuals to conform to the norms of the society. So infants and young to be looked after by the family members for a number of years, and throughout this process, they are preparing these individuals, these young members of the family, for taking up roles as they grow up. And all this process, as I have already said, is called as socialization. So we see that in this process, we try to condition them to conform to the norms of the society. And if at all they deviate, then the family members take appropriate action to bring their behavior in line with the functioning of the system. So then we see that instrumental achievement and structures and stratification, that's another mechanism. It is needed to channel individuals' motivational energy to accomplish tasks necessary for maintaining the overall welfare of society in accordance with the shared values. So different people are expected to perform different roles. They are in different occupations, different positions. And when we look at these, we see that we have to motivate them to take action. And for that, for motivating them, we provide them rewards. And these rewards might be in proportion to the members of the, in proportion to their contribution. So we see that those who perform well, they might be rewarded more than those who do not provide, do not play that role that very efficiently. So we see that rewards and punishments might be part of the whole process. So there is distribution of money, there is distribution of prestige, there is distribution of power. These are all closely related to different roles which are part of different occupations, and that is how we see the different occupations are stratified. So we see that those who have more power, they have more prestige, they have more money, and we expect that this power and money and prestige is in accordance with their performance. So that is how we see that there is stratification in the society. But people also see that there are, let's say, limitations or criticism of this particular system. Lots of people might be having power, but they may not be that competent to have that kind of position. So that there are lots of criticism of this social stratification system. Then we see the territoriality, force and integration of the power system. So there is a need for some form of territorial organization which can control the internal conflict, which can develop policies for relating to other societies, and which can be for looking after the territorial defense. And this might be considered as a polity of the political, let's say, system of the society. So all societies must have some form of political organization for internal and external defense. Religion is another one for this integration in the society. The requirement is to define cultural values, reinforce commitment to them. So it has traditionally provided the overarching cultural, let's say, worldview. It gives ultimate significance to the society's shared values of the society. So we see that people adhere to the religious values, and we also see that sometimes these religions also undergo, let's say, change, or people may not conform that much to, let's say, the traditional kind of religious orientations. So there can be deterioration, and therefore it is important for societies to develop some type of shared values and ultimate meaning system. So then other values might overtake, just like values with respect to humanism, values with respect to nationalism, values with respect to patriotism. So these values reinforce people's commitment to the shared orientation of the society. So that is how we see that these mechanisms are in place in the society to overcome the deviant behavior.